Alright, welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 3 Zorocom Edition. It's the middle of June, and we've just had Tartaria win their war. Got a war in Scandinavia, got a war over here in the Pacific Northwest. Just had England annex, or the United Kingdom annex Ireland, which ended their war with Great Vinland. Japan is attacking the Philippines because they hate Hitler, etc., etc. We need to reorganize our armies because they're in a really ugly state, and there's a lot of stuff I need to do. First things first. Oh, I also had to fix the thing for the Soviet Union's formation because it was broken. So, good thing I kind of ended that session where it was, so that I could go back and fix it. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to all my units, and I am going to unassign them from whatever part of the hierarchy they are in, and then I want to reorganize them later. Later, as in the session. Now, I hate to actually go and do this on screen, and I'm not going to do a lot of the silly micromanaging things on screen, but I do want to show you how I'm organizing my armies. Now, do I have anything like Central Asia? Pretty sure I moved everything. Yeah. We'll work with those garrisons later. So we have this here. This is my main unit. This is going to be Zorocom Central Command. This is going to be my main thing. I know I wasn't going to call it Zorocom, but now I am. So everybody is removed from this. And we'll reassign it later. Now we have a huge amount of things, and this outliner is basically useless now. So I'm already moving my transports there? Yes. Okay, so let's move my navy here so that it's out of the way. And my Air Force here as well. Okay. Then we'll probably move them back. So what we want to do is we want to have several distinct units. So that I can figure out what I'm doing. Now we have all of our units over here that are practical, you know, actual units. But you'll notice here that some of these have non-X's. The X's are infantry units. These are cavalry units. And these are artillery units. You don't want to have just artillery in a unit. They don't get the combined arms bonuses. So let's take these and take a couple of these under-strength infantry units. So should be 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And strategically redeploying them makes them not able to be reassigned, but we'll deal with that later. So let's go ahead and take all the cavalry units. And as I said, the cavalry counts as infantry for purposes of combined arms. So if we were to want to say, I don't know, use them in units that have any infantry, such as my tank units. And this is actually the only use that I could think of that makes any sense to me, is to assign them to my tank units as a combined arms thing. Because they're fast. Well, faster than infantry. And I don't have that much motorized. I don't think I have any motorized infantry. But I'll build some of those later. Oh yeah, this is what I was actually building. So I do have motorized brigades. But not for the majority. You can go over here too. It's just for that. So what I also want to do is I want to take my HQ units and I want to pair them out so that, well, what I want to do is I just want to assign them to move here. Actually assign them to strategically redeploy here. And then what I want to do is I want to go through here, and I want to remove some units from being moved. Say, this is a level 6 unit. I want a level 5 with 4 level 4s, and you can actually have 5 level 4s, I think. But well, let's go for 5 level 4s. Whatever. So I think I'm doing this backwards anyway. So now what you want to do is you want to have the level 5. So we'll take the first army group here. And then we want 5 level 4s, so we'll just take whatever. I'm going to be renaming these later. So 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And then we want 25 level 3s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, so that will go to there. So I think we have units moving to here and here. So let's just not have these guys move and just let everything go through. We'll see what things are going on here. Philippines canceled our offer. Kind of at war with a bunch of people anyway. So we've got units with, oh, I have inefficient research. It's agriculture probably? Yep. Okay, I also needed to do these, since I can. Actually, I can't do jungle warfare yet. There's something else I wanted to do. I need to get these eventually. I need to have these done. There's lots of stuff I need to do. I don't know. We'll figure that out later. So we're kind of just waiting for our units to get into place and then lose these yellow tags. These yellow tags are strategic redeployment. It means you can't reorganize the units or attack or anything like that. And it'll go away in a few hours or days, depending on how far you moved and what you did. So, and your tech. So you can see they just wore off. Oh, stop. Let's check on our transports to see where they are. Did you get over here? You are just about to arrive. Okay. So let's take care of this. So we have these units. What we want to do is we just want to break them up into smaller units. So that we can just assign one artillery to each of these infantry units, and that way they will get a better combined arms bonus. Not the best, but right now it's better that they have any combined arms bonus than none. You and you. You. Oops. And some of these are reserves, but it doesn't really matter. Not at the moment, at least. Oops. And once they start getting fighting, hopefully we will have mobilized by that point. I think I ran out of units to assign. Maybe. Okay, I need another unit. No, this one, 142nd, should be fine. There we go. Okay, and just everybody strategically redeploy back. Over here, we're going to do the same thing, except that I think we have too many cavalry units to comfortably do that with. Do I have any units over here that don't have 3? No, I think I can properly. Okay, so one of you can come down here to do that. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Just do this. I noticed that a lot of these are Indian, which is fine. Maybe a consequence of me using these pops in Victoria for these units. I don't know if the converter is that smart about it. Alright, so that looks good. So just want to take whatever we can get here. Just combine them. So that way they get the combined arms bonus. Which is pretty important. These units already have a bunch of stuff, so they're okay. Oops. And this is a tedious process. If I didn't think it was important, I wouldn't bother to do it, but I do. I think it's important enough, I suppose, to actually bother doing it. And I guess the proper thing to do would be to do this. So that way it's faster. I'll take everybody who isn't moving and strategically redeploy them back over here. Okay, so let's take care of this stuff over here. Sort you onto the boats. Want to rebase to here, like that. Make sure that all the units I want to move are in ports. And then we'll go back over here. See what we need to do. Let's go ahead and take care of these units over here in China. Not China, they're in Burma right now. So we'll go over here and we'll have 2 units per border province as much as I can. I guess I won't bother to defend that province. In any case, you can live here. Okay. And I guess what we'll do here is we will do that. Okay, I suppose that's fine. For now. And... okay, so let all these units move. These guys cannot combine or anything like that. Okay, there's no guys in Taiwan or anything like that. So the way I want to do with these is that normally I would have 4 units per thing. So I would have 4 instead of 5, and I'm not really sure what the difference really would be on a, I suppose, strategic level. So we have the first army group here. So I'm going to add them to Zorocom Central Command. And I'm going to add you to the first army group, add you to the first army group, you to the first army group, etc., etc., until I don't have any more slots in the first army group. Or I run out of units like that. So now we're into level 3s. So you just want to add these to them, to the level 4s, until the level 4s are full, which will actually happen. You just want to have the ones that are within the province that you're looking at. Now I'm assigning them to the 6th army. You see. And then eventually I'll actually put troops in these units. These each have 1,000 men, so this is quite a few guys if you want to think about it from an actual, you know, realistic standpoint. This is like 30,000 guys or something like that. Actually, the Zorocom command unit is pretty big. I was surprised. And you can attach these smaller units to the bigger units if you really want to. The Zorocom Central Command can have lower tiered units attached directly to it if you'd like. And matter of fact, that one actually does. Okay, so as you can see here, there's lots of units attached to this, which is fine. So this is our big unit here, and we actually have the Air Force attached to this as well. Let's remove you. You're going to be attached later to something else. We're going to have a special Air Force command by itself. So now we want to make as many of these groups as we can. Sort these. I wish I could sort them by rank. Can I do that? No. So let's take you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just have you go here. And then we want 25 level 3s if we can get it. Oops. I want nothing but level 3s here. So it looks like I can't build that many of them. You can just create these out of nothing. So We'll just wait until we have 25. And strategically redeploy to there. Okay, and then we'll see what we can get there. You can just create them, and it'll create them out of your manpower reserves, I believe. Alright, so we're into July. How is our unit over here doing? Got there. And our navy is closing in. Aha! Tartaria. The Soviet Union victory over its enemies and a united Russia have made the leftist leaders for Tartaria bold, and a bloodless coup supported by the workers and peasants has formed a new socialist nation. Kamchatka is asked to join through veiled threats and promises of autonomy and safety from the threats of Finland, Japan, and China. Even though they're allied with Japan, but whatever. The new government angers the West, however, when it joins the Zoroastrian Commonwealth, triggering fears of a war with Germany. The Soviet Union is now our bros. And they'll probably stop stupidly putting their units on our borders. So I feel a lot safer from both a strategic and coding sense in that I believe the war will now trigger properly and I don't have to worry about having a situation where I have a World War II game with no World War II. So we'll have to see how those actually turn out though. So you guys are still not working. So the Soviet Union is back in the faction they belong in. There we go. Welcome to Zorocom. Alright. Everybody get in the boat. Thankfully strategic deployment does not care about transports. They'll just let you do it. I'm going to move all of these guys to Africa, if I hadn't said that. So, now we're just waiting for these units to... You can see here, 40 hours is when it will be able to be done. They're just now finished. I'm betting these guys are available. Everybody into the boat. Perfect. Rebase to here. Actually, you guys strategically redeploy here. You guys strategically redeploy here, and then we will work on that later. So, these guys are done. Just combine them, move them over to here. I could consolidate these units further by taking the units that don't have like this. Oh no, that actually does have full. Some of these don't, like this one. I could just build a bunch of single unit artillery guys and just assign them to each thing, but I'm not going to do that, at least not yet. So we've got Zorocom Group 1, basically. Well, and incidentally, you can remove these units if you want to. I'm not going to, because it's fine. But, I don't know what this does. This is new, I think. Tactics control is off. I'll have to look at that later. So we've got 31 units here, so let's go ahead and organize this. So we've got the 5th Army Group. Let's add you to Zorocom Central Command. Just go through. Do all the stuff we can. You can promote units and stuff like that. I think. It might just create something above it, which is kind of silly, but that's the way it works. You know, it's kind of refreshing to have the Comintern music. Last time we had the Allies music, so that's what mostly I'm used to listening to. Okay. And then get it like this until I run out of units to assign. And I'll probably off-screen rename all of these so that I can, in my head, instantly recognize who they belong to. Without having to, like, go into the unit structure. Although, it is not that hard. So here we got 4th Army, you know, etc., etc. That has 2 army groups. So I can go into here and look. So we have a lot of level 5 units we don't need right here. So we'll just send you over here. And we'll check on our deuterators moving from over here. Okay. I guess they don't need energy anymore. So now what do you got here? Okay. Let's take you, add you to Zoroastrian. Take you, add you to the 4th Army group. That. And here we're actually starting to move into the next level of stuff. Okay, so here we go. We want to make sure those move out of the area before we let them do that. What do we got here? More bombers. Okay, we'll add them to the Air Force. That was actually to the bomber thing instead of the Air Force. That's okay. So here we've got all of these armies with nothing in them, basically, right now. So just add you. We're probably only going to be able to fill up 1 or 2 of these command structures, but that's okay. I filled up 1. Alright, so we have the 15th Army has some, and the 13th Army has 1. Okay. So, how do I want to actually work with this? So, let's take the Zoroastrian, deselect that, move everybody to here. And then take you guys and redeploy you to here. Take you and redeploy you to here. And what I want to do is I want to split up my units and assign them to each of these 2 army groups first, and then basically figure out what I want to do from there. So here we have the 1st Army group, and we'll call this the 2nd, or the 2nd Army group. 2nd Army group. And if there's a 2nd Army group over here, this gets renamed the 6th. Just to avoid confusion with me and my stupid brain. So, these I think are all full. Yeah. So this is 25 units that I could have 5 each in. So that's a lot of dudes. I actually probably don't have enough things here to fill that up. And that's okay. So basically I wanted to divide this into 2 or 3 parts. And just assign... Let's see. If I had... Well... I'm guessing I could figure it out later. I could just fill up one of these army groups for now, and then add the rest to the other ones, and just have all these HQ units sit back and do nothing. Or I could dismantle the HQ groups, which is perfectly fine too. So what I want to do is, since I need... let's see. Well, let's go ahead and do it then. Let's just move this guy to here. Or do I want to do that? Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. It'll be the easiest this way. And the cat is meowing in the background. There we go. Just add them like this until I run out of units to do this with. Shit. I wish it would remember that I had done this, but it doesn't because it's stupid. Whatever you do, don't miss when you're clicking. Because it will kill you. So this is basically just for, really, it's mostly for figuring out where things go for supply purposes. And if you're going to use the strategic, like, AI thing that I have never even thought about using. And the game will think about what each things will need for what it tells you what to build. And, you know. It's kind of got a, I guess, intelligence aspect to it, where it's like what you know about other people's units, how well your army stacks up to that. I think of it in terms of like civilization military advisor, except probably not as useful, even though I never use those anyway. So what do computers know, man? Actually, Civ computers are dirty cheaters, so... Got a lot of understrength units as far as what I'm concerned. And this is how you get carpal tunnel syndrome. Clicking on units. Now, before I had a structure in the Celtic Empire game, I had a structure where I just had a bunch of smaller, not necessarily smaller, but different units with color-coded names so I could remember each of them. I'll probably end up doing something like that again. But just not necessarily in the same way. I notice I'm not even close to filling out these units because it's not even getting down to the... I can't see a unit that's not in the province yet. I knew it was going to be like this. And if it really push comes to shove, I can go through and disband all of the other units to make room for things. But I mean the HQ units that I'm not using. Although if you have a bunch of land that you are just going to occupy, like if they're just completely undefended lands, you can take it with HQ units. It is possible. I don't know if HQ units take up more... Oh, there we go, we're starting there. More supplies or what. Oh god. Okay, that's something I hadn't figured out. This is the order of battle thing. It basically shows you everything, where it fits into these units. It doesn't really help me in my situation, but I can basically see what's filled up. If that makes any sense. Normally I would go with 4 and 4, and that would leave me with less units, I suppose. Oh, crap. You know what? This actually does help me. Because I can go to the unassigned things at the bottom. These are like the top level things. Okay. Order of battle is helpful. Wish I had more support units for these, but I'll have to build them later. Yeah, we're really getting close to filling things up now. Okay. I don't think I've even assigned any tank units to this stuff, because this is just all basic infantry units, which is fine for now. And then after I fill this up, I think I'll call it a session so that I'm not having this kind of thing extend over into the weekend. But I'll let this run longer. I'm not going to split it up in 2 parts. Just so that it's like... Oh, crap. Oh, these garrisons, where are you? So I guess I'm to the point that I'm not actually in the province anymore. Good. Alright, so everything's assigned here. We've got everything here. I think maybe I assigned a unit to one of these. Which is fine. Yeah. We gotta remove you. So, since I did that reorganization, I'll do most of the rest of it off screen. Just assign it to other things, and I'll probably go through. What you can do is like, you can go through and disband these, and it goes back into your normal units. And you can just take these and take these units and assign them if you want to. I might end up doing that because these might not ever be into combat, and it's like 2 extra units that I could use. Whatever, it's fine. HQs are basically worthless though, unless you, as I said, they were undefended. So, unless they have units attached to them already, which these ones don't. These are all just HQ units, which are garbage. So I will see you next time on Let's Play Hearts of Iron 3, where we don't do any of that stuff, because it's dumb and boring. And I'll do the rest of that off screen and move these troops around and do more interesting stuff.